What are the two cases? The two cases are, one is the achsadra, one is our pavilion, and that's regarding carrying on Shabbos. The question is, when you're under this, just the roof of the tent, just the top, no bottom, can you carry underneath? We had a machlekes, Rav and Shmuel. The second case was our case. We have these porches surrounding the three walls. You lay your schach on top of them. Can that make a sukkah? So we had a machlekes, Rav and Abaya. Machlekes by the sukkah was, do we say pi tikra? Do we see that the edge, here's your porch, do we see that the edges come down on their own? Abaya said yes, and Rava said no. Whereas in the case of Shabbos, we explained it's not necessarily the same machlekes. Why not? Because we could say that where are the walls made for? Let's try to understand this a little bit. It's a little bit difficult to understand. When I have just a roof, and I'm standing inside the roof, here's my pavilion. I'm standing inside my roof. So if I make imaginary walls, where do they go? They come down. So what are those imaginary walls made for? For me, standing inside this area. Very good. Whereas in the case of the porches, when I have one porch on this side and one porch on this side, right? And I lay the schach on top of here, right? So when I say pi tikra, what's the pi tikra for? For the porch, which is which way? This way. Either this way on top of the porch or underneath over here. But this center area where the schach is that's the outside of the wall. So the obvious question is, who cares? If it's a wall to wall, walls have two sides. Guess what? It's a garage door on one side, it's a garage door on the other side. It's a good question, and the answer is sort of, we're playing with the Lach Moshe Sinai. So the Gemara is saying, Rav David's here. We're playing with the Lach Moshe Sinai. So the Gemara is saying that we only allow this unique idea of fake walls to come down when you're in the area that they would be servicing. When it's in an area that you're not servicing, we don't allow them to come down. It's a chiddush. That's the way it works.
In the middle, the
yeah.
Come directly down. The area is the schach is there.
Yeah, it's a small. Okay, but let's say it's large. I mean, it is a difficult thing to understand because who cares that the porch, that the lip is where it's coming off is the other side.
Because of it's the way I understand it.
Yeah. Correct.
It's about the v'seisen.
Okay.
Closing.
Good. So it's closing the wrong side.
In the case of the sukkah, you're not. It's
correct. No, it's true. It's true.
Where it's coming down from.
So it's closing inside the porch. I'm just pointing out the obvious question. When you look at the picture of our imaginary walls, we say, okay, shkayach that it's seisim for the other side, but who cares? Every wall is two sides. So that's the chiddush. That's the chiddush that we're saying, is that it only goes one way. We ended yesterday with the kasha that everyone spoke about, and we pick up from there, 4 lines down, Yutes Amid Aleph. Yutes Amid Aleph. 4 lines down, Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah. This is our Mishnah. We have a porch that's surrounded by, a courtyard that's surrounded by porches. And we said in that case that it depends whether the schach are within 4 amos of the wall. Why? Because we said again, we say doifen akuma. If the area, the porch, which the schach are lying on, is 4 amos, then we view it as one big wall. If not, then not. Says the Gemara. Why do we care if it's dalet amos? Name pi tikra yorid v'saisem. Why don't we say pi tikra? Pi tikra has no qualifications as to what, meaning Sekasha directly on Abaya. Rava doesn't hold of pi tikra, but according to Abaya that holds of pi tikra, say pi tikra. Why does the Mishnah make a difference in the size? Seemingly the Mishnah is a kasha on Abaya. Answers the Gemara, Tir Gemarava, Aliba de Abaya, Kishehishve es Kirov. Well, the case that we're talking about here is as follows. Here's my 2 porches. So until now, try to get this good. Here we go. Here's my 2 porches. Till now, we've been talking about the fact that I lay my schach on top of them. Right? Very good. If I lay it on top of them, so now we could enlarge for viewing purposes. Here's my schach laying on top. So what do we have? Pi tikra. For pi tikra, you need a mouth, an edge. Let's do it this way. It's easier to see. Here's an edge, and it goes down. But it's only if the schach is on top. What if I go, and I want to make it, a geshmak sukkah, so I put the schach inside here. I hishve. I make the schach equal to the roof. Maybe I make a frame of some sorts. I don't put my schach on top. I put it inside. So what do? I destroyed the edge. If there's no edge, you can't say pi tikra. That's the chiddush of Pi Tikra.
But where's the schach stuck? It's stuck into something.
Oh,
It's
no.
the edge.
So, no, let's get all our builders out here. I make a frame underneath maybe, and the schach is mamish lined up with the edge. And therefore, there's no edge. So, again, I understand the chiddush here is we're playing with the Lach Moshe Misinais. So why don't we say even one dot? Yeah, that's what's bothering you, right?
Doesn't the lip mean the most outer layer? Doesn't that say?
So good. So the easiest way to understand this, I don't remember if it's Rashi or Taisus, one of them learns, and this is the easiest way to learn this whole thing, is that you need a tefach. You need a tefach of thickness. Only if this area is a tefach, then we say Pi Tikra. Why? That's how they learned the Lach Moshe Misini. Now,
And if I put my schach on top of it and there isn't a tava,
then also you wouldn't have it. But all we're trying to say is,
oh, the course.
no, because what the Gemara is trying to explain is the Mishnah spoke about, here's my porch. Here's my porch. Said the Mishnah, you lie your schach on top of it. Said the Mishnah, we care, is this Dalet Amos or not? Ask the Gemara, why do I care about that? Say, Pi Tikra, look, every porch has a lip on the side of it. This lip comes down. Answers the Gemara, guess what? The case could be, again, anytime, important to remember, and where did I just have this? I had this in a different Gemara I was learning. These two roots don't mean, I just want to say this, I think this is something we often lose. Doesn't mean the Mishnah has to be this way. Whereas the Akash on Abaye. So Abaye wants to defend himself. Abaye holds a Pi Tikra. Abaye, what do you do with the Mishnah? Abaye could be madche. A dichli is never gishmak. But if I could, this works, Grad, in the world of reasoning. This is very logical. If I could ever prove to you that the case could be 1 in a million, but that means the pure text of the case is not a kasha, because maybe it's a different case. So we only can play within the case. So the Mishnah said, I have achsadros, I have porches, and I have schach on it. Says, yeah, you have schach, but who said they're on top? It's right next to it. They don't have a mouth.
So according to Abaye,
Yes.
if I have Sadra, right,
Yeah.
put it in the middle of the thing, yeah.
Good.
Now I go ahead and I take planks and I drill them into the side of the wall.
Yes.
There.
You would have.
Create,
Yes. Yeah.
This is my question.
Can you manufacture Pi Tikra? So yes, these are questions that the Gemara Eruvin is loaded with, mamish, to the extent that the Gemara Kimat talks about your case. The Gemara there talks about a case as follows. Here's a mavui, okay? Here's a mavui, a 3-walled cul-de-sac, right? So we know that at the entrance to my mavui, I need one of two things to allow me to carry in here. Either a kaira, a lechi, horizontal beam, or a kaira, a vertical beam. One of the shitas, big machlekes, what does a kaira do? So we always talk about that it's a hecker, that it's a reminder. You see a beam, you can't carry further. One of the shitas say, no, it's a mechitza. Mechitza, how is a beam a mechitza? Because if I have a beam going across, the beam has a lip. Guess what that lip does? Yoyrid v'saisim. It's ki'ilu, a wall at the front, and you manufactured it because you put it there. Daf going to carry jobs. So according to Abaye would tell you, yeah, guess what? You know what? If you move your schach an inch higher and you have a lip, you have a good kasha. It's like, I don't care how thick it is. You want to put an extra thing about him? No problem. That's how Abaye learns. A little bit difficult, but again, we're playing with Lachel Mishmi nice. So that's the story. Very gishmak. Next, Bitsura Masni. Yeah?
One last question.
You could ask, you don't have to be the last one. Yeah.
Is there a minimum, maybe the Gemara discuss, is there a minimum of how much out the Sadra has to come?
Is there a minimum how much the Sadra has to
Like
come?
making, if you have a corner, right, of a house, and you have the shutter, comes out a little bit, yeah? Can I just build one little
Interesting.
wall?
Interesting. So I'll tell you, the thing,
Go to a tefach,
right, the pashtus is all has to be as a tefach. Pashtus is as long. Now you should know even this whole tefach business is not any Gemara. We never saw this everywhere. This is like very Rishonim raid figuring out Pi Tikra. Pi Tikra is a Pi Tikra lava. These are like real break your head over. The Rishonim say it is.
It's like the crew.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it's not like I would like it to be a Gemara. There's no Gemara that says it, but okay. Says the Gemara Vayter Gevald Bitsura. We're about 8 lines down. The first one line is Bitsura. Besura Masni Lahashmaitza in Surah, that's the name of a place. They learned Lahashmaitza, this teaching, Bahai Lishna, with this Lashon, meaning what we just said. Bepobadisa, which was another place. Masni, they learned as follows. Sikech al Gabi Achsadra. And again, this is similar to the Ika Diamri, which basically is going to be very similar to what we just said. We're going to switch around the order a little bit. Kashas become terutzim, rayas become kashas. Very similar, one dot off. Let's see. If you put schach on top of your pavilion, she'ein lo pitzimin. So if it doesn't have pitzimin, again, what are the pitzimin? Pitzimin are those vertical beams going down off the porch. In this brayse, it said divrei hakol pisula. So if everyone holds it's possible, what does that mean? That means that according to Pompadisa, everyone holds of no pitikra. Because if there was pitikra, it would work. So if there's no pitzimin, everyone holds it's possible. Yesh la pitzimin, then the previous lashon said what everyone holds it's kosher. Here we're saying if it has pitzimin, Abaya amar ksheira, Rava amar psula. Why? Abaya amar ksheira amrinan lavod gishmak. Rava amar psula loya amrinan lavod. Now, why not loved? Why not loved? So what I would have thought the answer is, because there's no 3 tzvachim. It's more than 3 tzvachim. Problem is, wait, Abaye said yes, loved. So that means the case has to be one that we could theoretically have loved, and yet Rava says no. So why does Rava hold no loved? So if you look at Rava, shtikol chiddush, what? I don't know. No, but then why would Abaye say yeah? It's funny over here. It has to be that it be'etzem fills the regular rules of Lavud. For some reason, Rav is disallowing it. So if you look at Rashi, Rashi is about, 20 lines from the bottom. The first line is Virava. Virava Amar Psula. De Lavud lav mechitzahi. Says Rav Chadish. Lavud cannot create a wall. Ella mehalacha l'maisha misinai gemirila. Lavud is learned out from halacha l'maisha misinai. V'chi gemirila, and when do we learn it? Liyos mechitza lechalal hanaaseh bishvilai. When you have a hole, for example, when we have our wall and we're missing a piece, Lavud could close up the wall. You can't create walls via Lavud. Now this line of Rava, even though the Gemara says we pass like the first lashon, this actually has large relevance because are you able to actually create a sukkah via Lavud is a massive machlokes. For example, and you see this actually in some places, and we paskin that we shouldn't really sit in such a place. Often you'll have a sukkah frame, no walls, and all it will have is straps running across the wall. 3 straps, each one within 18 inches of each other. And I'll say it's a kosher wall, it's Lavud, it's kosher sukkah. So the answer really is, our sheet is a dual that's kosher, believe it or not. L'maisa, we're machmer, it's a big sugya, but this is one of the reasons. Now, we don't pass this way, but in Lumdus, we do understand like this, like Rav is teaching, which is that we can't create a mechitza via Lavud. Lavud can only fix, Lavud can only close a gap. But to create something, no. But the Gemara says we don't pass this way, but that's Rava. And we'll stop with here.